This is the Big Deal Podcast, brought to you and powered by New Covenant Baptist Church in Albertville, Alabama. And on this podcast, we're asking the question, what's the big deal about all things Bible, theology, and culture? I'm Justin.
I'm Brad.
Welcome to the Big Deal. I got a fun question for us today.
Oh, boy.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving week. This podcast is going to come out the day before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So, somewhere around then.
Y'all listen to it around the table.
Yeah. And I know that in lieu of, your family gathering and meal, you're actually going to turn on your phones and listen to this podcast.
Yes. When it gets too dumb at the table, you just got to be like, I got to hear
Well,
something.
you usually have to have some sort of political and religious conversation for Thanksgiving, right? That's like that's what you're not supposed to do.
You're not
right?
supposed to do that. No,
Well,
don't do that.
Maybe our topics today could fuel that, right?
Yeah.
We can add to the religious.
Just
not
be like,
talk.
when they started it, be like, this is a great podcast you should listen to, and we shouldn't talk about this right now.
Yeah, that's right. We actually do have some fun little controversial things on the pod, especially earlier when we were in Genesis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We
Yeah.
were killing it.
Yeah, that is good Thanksgiving conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
So I got a question for you to start off. This is Thanksgiving themed.
Let's hear it.
And so I want to know, what is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish and Thanksgiving pie or dessert of any variety? Can't go turkey. We're going side dishes.
No, side dish. Favorite side dish. This is a... Man, I really like... This is going to sound... Maybe, I don't know. Sweet potato casserole.
Okay, all right. Tell me about, are you like a pecan topping or marshmallow topping?
Pecan.
Yeah.
No,
same.
hands down.
The marshmallow is disgusting.
Yeah.
It's like a dessert now.
I like the little crunch. Like a well-done sweet potato casserole
man, that's
is a
good.
dessert, dude.
It is, yeah.
Oh,
The
my
buttery,
goodness.
that buttery
Oh,
pecan
baby.
on top.
I don't
Golly.
think about it. I just eat it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So
I
good.
love it. Sometimes a good green bean casserole is pretty good.
Really, I do not like green bean
That's
casserole.
okay. You don't have to.
Yeah.
I don't like one that's slimy.
Yeah, I've never had one that's not slimy.
I used to have that when I was in college. We had cooks. Yeah, had a cook at my fraternity house. We had a cook.
Wow.
And she
nice.
made a green bean casserole that was crispy.
Oh,
And it was not slimy.
it's good.
It was the best.
Wow, it's the best.
It was the best. I love it. I still think about that.
It's a Nacho Libre reference. Yeah.
So I think my favorite side dish is sweet potato casserole. And you asked me what my favorite pie is?
Yeah, Thanksgiving pie.
Oh, man.
Or
That's
Thanksgiving
a toss-up.
dessert in general.
That's a toss-up. Buttermilk pie.
Buttermilk pie, like chess pie or something?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that kind
It's
of thing?
not. It's just buttermilk pie. You put a bunch of whipped cream on it. It's delicious.
Huh. I've never even heard of that, I don't think.
What?
I don't think I've ever had that.
They sell it at Foodland. You should get one for funsies.
Okay. Foodland, we're
it's-
coming.
And maybe I like pies.
Mm-hmm.
I like pies better than cake.
Yeah,
Really.
me too.
Pecan pie is delicious. Oh, pecan
Have you ever
pie.
had like a real pecan pie?
Yes.
Not with a K-Row.
No.
With like custard.
Yeah.
Like a custard base. Oh my gosh.
It's so good.
So buttery and smooth. Like the K-Row base is like, it's super sweet and it's just, I don't know. It's good, but it's not that good. But if you ever have like a custard based pecan pie, man,
One time I grew pumpkins and I made a pumpkin pie.
it's good.
It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
Oh, pumpkin pie is good.
love
Sweet potato
Thanksgiving.
pie is good.
I don't like sweet potato pie.
Did you like sweet potato casserole?
Yeah, I do. It's like sweet potato pie is like it's like trying to be pumpkin pie, but not as good.
Yeah, pumpkin pie is better.
Yeah.
So pecan pie, buttermilk pie. Whew, there's some
Sweet
good
potato
this is
casserole.
sweet potato
I'm
casserole.
a dressing guy. I love dressing.
I like dressing. I don't love it.
I need to bring you some of my dressing.
Ham
next time.
or turkey?
in the dressing?
No. Like, are you a ham or turkey guy at Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving turkey,
Okay.
Christmas ham, or prime rib.
Sometimes when not a bunch of people come over, we don't do turkey or dressing. We buy the most expensive steaks in the county and we cook them because we're Americans. We do whatever we want. And they didn't have turkey in the original Thanksgiving. It was venison. They were eating.
Well, I love
meat.
turkey. I love
Yeah.
smoked turkey. I'm smoking a turkey.
Me too.
Yeah, we're
I'm gonna
gonna
smoke.
we need to. Here's what we need to do. Oh, this is gonna be great. We're gonna do this for the podcast too. We'll film a little bit of this. We're going to take pieces of our Thanksgiving meal, and we're gonna like share, and we're gonna try.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I do a lot of cooking. I love doing all the cooking and stuff. I'm doing dressing. My dressing is delicious.
Ooh.
Homemade. Starts with homemade cornbread.
Is it crispy on top? Or yes.
It's crispy on top, moist, not wet.
Yeah.
In the middle, sausage based.
Sausage based dressing?
Yes.
I've never heard of this.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Ours is always like chicken or turkey, I think.
I bake it with cranberries speckled out through it.
Zombie.
Yeah, so good, man.
You have to let it linger.
That's good, dude.
I mean, cranberries.
Oh, cranberry. Yeah, I don't know that.
That's a band.
Oh, yeah.
You have to let it linger.
Okay, I got you.
Wasn't that cranberries?
I don't know. And
They did
then,
zombie for sure.
Okay, and then I'm doing a turkey. My mashed potatoes call for a pound of butter.
So you put a pound and a half.
They're really good though, man. They're really
I love
good.
butter also.
Yeah.
I started recently cooking my scrambled eggs with butter.
Uh-huh.
And
That's
I
a
started
game
out with
changer.
just a little
Yeah.
bit enough just to kind of cover the pan that make them not stick. And now then I'm up to like a half a stick of butter. It's like more butter in there.
Half a stick of butter.
No, man,
Oh my
I'm just
gosh.
kidding. Not that much. But it's a generous dollop, I'll tell you that.
It really helps some scrambled eggs.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
And
It's
then,
a game changer.
and for dessert, this year we're doing a banana pudding for.
I forgot banana pudding, man. You said pies.
It's
though.
not generally like a Thanksgiving dessert, but it's like it's Steph's grandmother's recipe, and she just passed, and so we're gonna make it. And like,
Man,
with
I
family and
love
everything.
like banana pudding.
This is a homemade like banana pudding too. This isn't like no gelatin based
I
stuff.
love the homemade ones.
Yeah.
Why is it that like barbecue places are so good at it?
I
What's the
don't
deal
know.
with that?
I
Like
just-
every once in a while you go to a
I
barbecue
think
place.
barbecue restaurants like are the best restaurants.
Yeah.
and that's why they're good. At it.
Yeah, I'm sitting there
Yeah.
at any other restaurant in the world.
Yeah.
Almost.
yeah.
They'll say, "Would you like a dessert?" And I'm like, "No." If I'm at a barbecue restaurant, they're like, "Would you like a dessert?" And I say, "Do y'all have banana pudding?" And they're like, "Yes." I'm like, "Bring it."
Have you ever had Dreamland? Well, of course you have. You went to Tuscaloosa.
Uh-huh.
You,
I didn't
it's
have any.
controversial, but the Birmingham Dreamland is better.
That might be true. I don't know.
It is. It's significantly better. And it comes down to their sides and their banana pudding. Oh my gosh. It was like a block away from
Local Joe's here in town.
It's good.
Their banana pudding is good, man.
Local Joe's, everything is good,
everything is
actually.
good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Local Joe's.
We love you.
Their smoked turkey is actually my favorite.
Their smoked turkey is so good.
It is so good, dude.
They retain moisture in it so much. This is supposed to be a podcast about the Bible. And
We're going to talk about it.
We'll
But
talk
it's
about the
Thanksgiving.
Bible. Yeah,
But
it's Thanksgiving.
Look,
yeah.
first, I was on a kind of a diet.
Everyone is so hungry right now.
I know. I was on kind of a diet.
Yeah.
I was watching what I do that now because I'm old and I get fat easy. But I was like, I guess I'll get the smoked turkey, one day for lunch. And it came out, and I was like, bring me all of your turkeys,
All the smoked turkey.
all
you
the
have.
smoked turkey you have back there.
Yeah.
What is happening right
It
now?
is so good.
Oh, I ate at a Local Joe's in, I think I was Cave Springs, Georgia recently.
They have
There's
them
another
over
one.
there?
Yes.
I know
was
they have a couple around here. I didn't know
It
they were in
was
Georgia, though.
it was what do you call it? A trivia night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fun.
A shout out to Joe and Bree. We played trivia. We won third place. We got $10.
You didn't win.
We won third place.
You came in third
We
place.
came in third place.
You can't say I won third place.
Well, I did-
winning is reserved for the winner.
No, I feel like it's a win when you get money.
It's a moral victory.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's jealous of my third place. We've both established that. So we got third, and I ordered ribs there.
What were y'all doing in Georgia at a trivia
We
night?
were at a secret meeting
Okay.
of the cabal that I'm a part of in the National
Nice.
Guard.
Okay.
No, we where were we doing? I think we went to did we go to a funeral? I think it was a funeral.
Oh, it was the funeral. I remember that.
It was a
yeah,
funeral.
yeah, got you.
Yeah, one of our soldiers passed. We went to a funeral, and on the way back, we ate at the Cave Springs Local Joe's, and you know how they talk about there's supposed to be a slight tug on the ribs, and then they come off the bone.
That's
It's
it.
not-
It's perfect.
dude. Like
It's
perfection.
just like that?
Almost fail.
So I've never
full.
had ribs that I really appreciate at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like because they're just like mass cooked usually,
Yes.
and I don't like them. But at home I like them. But
Well,
you're telling
the only
Local
reason I
Joe's
got
landed
them
it,
is
huh?
because the lady was hyping them. She's like,
Yeah.
"We just won a rib cook off,
Wow.
and so and so and so and
And they're
so,
good.
and these gonna be the best ribs you ever had." And I was like, doubtful.
Yeah.
And then I ate them. I was like, these might be the best I've ever.
Have you ever had a beef rib?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're huge.
Probably.
They're huge. They're like this big.
Yeah.
And you get like one.
We are going to eat barbecue
So
after this.
I think we are. So when I lived in Texas, Texas barbecue is really good. Like around Dallas, there's a place called Hutchins Barbecue in just north of Dallas. It's the best food I've ever had in my life. It's what we'll be eating in heaven. If you're ever in DFW.
I also have a story.
Yeah, and you need to go to Hutchins.
I need to.
And they have several things that are really good. First of all, their brisket's incredible. It's so
Dude,
good.
Brisket done right may be the best thing on the planet.
It is. It's the king of meats.
Done wrong, it's not good.
And you can only do it right very expensively.
Yes.
You have to get prime. You have to have.
Have you ever had somebody do the burnt tips?
Oh, it's so good. So good, man.
I'm fixing to eat this microphone.
Yeah. So you go to Hutchins Barbecue.
Yeah.
You get the brisket. You get Texas Twinkies. You're seeing a Texas
Don't
Twinkie?
know what it is,
It's
but
a jalapeno.
Come on.
That is stuffed with brisket, cheese, and cream cheese, and with some barbecue sauce mixed in, wrapped in bacon and smoked.
Give me
Texas
give me
Twinkie.
their Venmo.
It's so good.
I will send them the
They
money.
are so good.
I would eat that
and then
right
you
now.
can get a beef rib.
Oh.
And it's like this massive like rib that's been smoked, of course,
Yes.
perfectly. Oh my gosh, it's all so good.
It's
Then they have unlimited sides and desserts. Mm-hmm. And so you go in and you're just scooping out whatever. I mean, you go there to eat once a week. Like you're like, this is the only thing I'm gonna eat this week.
No, we're bulking.
Yeah,
That's what we say. We're bulking.
So good, dude. We don't have anything like I love Alabama barbecue. We don't have anything like that.
We went to San Antonio one time,
Oh.
and it was a big surprise at how good it was. We loved San Antonio.
San Antonio's
Riverwalk
cool.
was so
Yeah, yeah.
cool. I didn't expect that. It was a business trip. Anyway, we stopped at this place. It looked like the restaurant was made out of cinder blocks somewhere out in the desert of San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
And we got fajitas, and probably the top 3 best meals I ever had in my life. It was so delicious. I can't describe why. It was so good. And that was the first time I ever had a habanero. I asked the guy, is this a jalapeno? It's so stupid. And he goes, yes. Because he didn't speak English so great.
Yeah.
And he walked off, and man, it was a grilled to perfection. It looked like a grilled.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm eating this thing, man. And I cut it up, and I'm eating it, and it was not a jalapeno.
Kicked. Yeah.
It was burn your face off. That was the second hottest pepper I ever had.
Yeah.
Maybe third. The first one was one time I had a ghost pepper. That was stupid. And then one time I was in Africa.
Don't they have the Scoville scale? Isn't the Scoville scale?
Yes.
Yeah. Then it's like the ghost pepper's like.
Yeah, I didn't eat the whole thing. It was just like a little dollop that they put in my chili.
Oh, yeah.
And it turned your mouth inside out.
You know how they measure pepper hotness? Like how that works?
It's I kind of do.
Yeah. So it's how long after you've eaten the pepper, how long it takes for the spiciness to go away. Oh. And that's how it's measured.
I thought it was how many of those how much capsaicin or whatever that stuff is in it.
It's related to that. Mm-hmm. It's like that's like the.
I probably said that wrong.
Yeah, I think it's a little different, but but the scale is actually how long it takes the spiciness to go away, and so you have like the paprika pepper, which is low, really low jalapenos, and you have these ghost peppers, and it's like they just linger and they go forever.
Millions of units, like a jalapeno is like 1,000 Scoville units or something, and a ghost pepper is like 1,000,000. I'll shut up about this food, but I was in Tanzania one time, and again, when you eat somewhere where people don't speak your language, they don't always know what you're asking. And they had these chopped up peppers, and you know how jalapenos, they cut them up for your nachos? Mm-hmm. They were sliced like that.
Nice.
And I said, are these peppers hot? And she said, no. So I just got a bunch of them like they were pickles, dude.
Yeah.
And I put it on my in my rice, and I just scooped up a bunch of them things and ate it. And I almost died. It was instant. Like sweat didn't bead on my forehead; it squirted out. Oh. It was so hot. It was so hot. And what's funny is, if you look, there's like this. There's a. You may get a jalapeno that's the average is 1,000. You might get one that's 500. You might get one that's 1,500. Some peppers are just hotter than others.
Yeah.
Pili peppers is what these were called, I think, have a wide range. And I think I just grabbed some.
Just
and
the
the thing was, right as I'm eating, it's like this comedy of errors. I'm chewing it up, and I see that woman running over to my table because she realizes what I've asked and what she said. Because sometimes when you're speaking another language,
She's
there's
like,
a
"Are
little
they
bit of brain.
warm,
like,
hot?"
Yeah, she was like, she probably thought, is it okay if I take them? And she was, or something
Yeah,
like, can I have these? Whatever. She was trying to be nice.
Yeah.
And she's coming to the table to tell me you're going to die. Umzungu. That's for a white guy.
Yeah.
You're going to die, man. And I was like, ah! And there was nothing. I'm in Africa. I can't even like drink the water right. I'm I'm just roll on the ground here and die.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Oh, stop, drop, and roll.
That's so funny.
Oh, man. It burnt both ways.
Oh, I bet.
Going, coming and going. It
Oh.
was so bad when and
So, hey, if you're listening, you like spicy peppers and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a really cool documentary on peppers on Apple TV. It's super cool. It's, I mean, it's cool if you're a food nerd. There's like a whole documentary on like how the pepper is kind of ubiquitous across culture now. And like why does Mexican cuisine and Thai food cuisine have like chili peppers as the primary ingredients and stuff. So it's really cool. I highly recommend. Really good.
Yeah, just so you know, if you're like a big weenie about peppers and hot stuff, it's genetic. Did you know that?
What?
Yes. So some people uptake the
being a weenie is genetic.
No, your mouth. It's genetic. It's your daddy's fault. He was a big wuss. No, some people can uptake the spice better than others, and so like some people it doesn't bother them.
Yeah,
it's because their taste buds whatever don't pick it up. Like birds are immune to pepper.
Parrots.
They feel
they can eat it. Yeah.
So some people. Just like, some people taste sweet more powerfully than others, or more bitter more powerfully than others. Children taste sweet and bitter way more powerfully than adults. And so if you're like somebody that's like, how are they? I can't even do Tabasco. You just have a very sensitive palate. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're not such a wuss.
Cool, man.
But I mean, do suck it up and eat some Tabasco sometimes.
Yeah, Tabasco's delicious. You know how they make Tabasco?
Do not know.
It's fermented for like a long time,
But
like
all
2
the Baptists
years.
just turned us off.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No!
Oh, but it's not alcoholic fermented.
Oh.
It's like in barrels for like two years.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Tabasco.
Oh, I love it too. On some
I
eggs.
love Tabasco.
We got to get to the Bible. This is crazy. This is insane.
Why are
We're 18 minutes in.
And we talked only about food.
We're so hungry. All right. So we're in, we've been going through the first couple books of the Bible. And we've been through Genesis. We're in Exodus right now, and the people of Israel have been rescued out of slavery in Egypt. They've begun their trek through the wilderness in the desert, and they've come to Mount Sinai, where Moses has led them. This is the same mountain that Moses initially met God at.
This was his sign that God was with him, right?
That's
he
right.
Said, you'll bring them back here.
Yep, you're going to come right back here to this mountain. So Moses is coming back, expecting to see the burning bush again.
Yeah, but instead of the burning bush, he set the whole mountain on fire.
Yeah, the whole thing's on fire.
The whole
That's
mountain.
Right. It's
people forget that.
Yeah, so Exodus 19 is wild. It's bananas.
Yeah.
God is speaking to them, speaking through Moses,
and they're terrified.
And they're all in though too.
Yeah.
You know, like Moses, or he tells them, like, if you will follow me, you will be my people, the people of my own possession. You know, kingdom of priests, holy nation, and stuff. Right? And they're like, we will do everything you tell us, God. You know, we're all in. Yeah, for real. And so they're going to enter this covenant. This is called the Mosaic covenant.
Yeah.
You know, and they're going to enter this covenant with God. And the first thing that really happens in this covenant is Moses goes up on the mountain and he meets with God and receives the 10 commandments, the law, right?
The tender commandments.
The tender commandments.
Yeah. I read a book one time called The Tender Commandments. It's actually a pretty good book.
Oh, yeah, was it?
Yeah. Yeah. He explains why the the kindness of God to give the Ten
Oh,
Commandments.
it really is.
It really is.
And you might see this other places in the Bible and it might be called the 10 or the Decalogue or something when they're mentioned. It's actually never called the 10 Commandments.
No.
In the scriptures, that's like what we end up calling it with our little headings, which are not.
And we got different.
Scripture.
Yeah, and we also got different 10 Commandments.
Yeah, we do. Explain that.
I can't.
You can't.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's something about how they combine them with.
Yeah, let's go there and look at it.
Catholicism combines them a little different than Protestants or something like that.
Judaism, so that's what we're looking at today is the 10 Commandments. It's Exodus chapter 20. These are culturally significant. Right now, actually, did you see this law? Is it Louisiana?
No.
So this just happened. Louisiana passed a law about the publication of the 10 Commandments in schools. Let's look at that real quick. Louisiana 10.
What are they trying to do?
Do you remember when that happened in Alabama years ago?
Yeah, Judge Roy Moore.
Roy Moore, yep. So Louisiana becomes first state to require 10 Commandments in public school classrooms. Requires, yep. A new law approved in Louisiana on Wednesday will require public schools to display the 10 Commandments in all classrooms beginning in 2025.
That's going to get tossed, dude.
Yeah, this is Associated Press. They made it law.
It doesn't matter. It's unconstitutional.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Well, I guess they'll run it up through Supreme Court or something.
They will.
It's going to happen.
It's going to run afoul of the Establishment Clause. Now, I love that the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
But I want actually, man, I don't want teachers teaching my kids religion. I don't want
I'm
the
not
state.
even sure it's a teaching thing.
Yeah.
I think it's like in the same way that something like the Pledge of Allegiance is a solid every morning kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think a sign with the 10 Commandments is like on the wall. I think that's like how the bill is read.
You get into like the number one, right? No other gods before me.
Oh, I know it.
I love
wild,
Jesus.
Yeah.
I love the 10 Commandments.
It sounds like you don't, and you have.
That's it. Yeah. I know. I tell you what I do love too is First Amendment rights.
Yeah.
I think that we should keep that stuff in the public square.
That is a funny. So same thing happening right now in Texas is a similar law about the Bible as curriculum.
Yeah.
That is just passed in Texas this week.
Now,
also.
I don't mind. Okay, look, I don't mind if people put the 10 Commandments up in classrooms. I don't care if people put the sayings of Confucius or Buddha in the classroom. I don't mind that stuff.
Yeah.
I mind it once it becomes a requirement.
Yeah.
And I don't want a teacher at school that I have no idea where they're coming at the Bible from.
Yeah.
Teaching my children my faith.
Yeah.
Stay out of that crap.
So Texas approves new Bible-based curriculum for elementary schools.
No, sir. And
teachers
I love
can
Jesus.
opt in, but state is offering financial incentive of $60 a student for participating school districts.
No, what if that teacher spends the whole time deconstructing the
Bible?
Bible?
It's a curriculum.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you're supposed to follow it's like elementary education is very like curriculum based. You follow the book.
Oh, I know. My wife taught is there.
So,
but they don't.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't.
And so that's a funny thing. That's a good thing to think about. So like for everyone, what is the line for what is a good rule, a good law for the inclusion of the Bible and things like the 10 Commandments in public schools?
I don't think it should be in elementary school.
Because generally, like our Christian subculture is kind of like we took the Bible out of schools, now all the bad things are happening, right? Like the Bible needs to be back in schools, prayer needs to be back in schools, those kinds of things. You've heard these things, right? And you're saying that you don't want the Bible or prayer. You don't want kids to pray or know the Bible.
No, take your kids to church, man.
Yeah.
Take your kids to church. Yeah. Take your kids to Sunday school. Teach the kids the Bible at
home. And so why do you see as problematic that the Bible or prayer would be like...
all right.
Subsidized is the right word?
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Tell our listeners.
Would you let anybody teach your kids Sunday school? No. So you're going to let somebody you have absolutely no idea what they think about the Bible, Jesus, or God teach you. And look, parents, Are you even teaching your kids Bible at home? Do you want the only thing they learn about the Bible to be at some school where you got, look,
Evie goes right now.
2 months ago, bro.
Yeah.
Not even 2 months ago. We have schools where there are teachers who support putting litter boxes in the bathroom. You want that guy teaching your kid about the Bible? Shut the front door, dude.
So Evie goes to a Christian private school for first grade, right? It's at a First Baptist church. I love those people. Shepherd's Place, shout out to you. You're great.
Yeah,
all you are great. Great teachers and everything. But even then, she has, these are people that are in our camp, but she has come home with weird beliefs, weird things that they've taught her, that she's heard.
Yes.
That, I don't know where this comes from. About asking Jesus into your heart kind of stuff. And just like a strange way to talk about salvation.
I think it's good opportunities to go through stuff with your kids. I don't mind that.
But even
and if they taught the Bible as literature in high school, I'd be fine with that. Let's talk about it. And he said, well, my teacher said this about this. And I'd be like, well, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9, 10 years old. No, man. Yeah. Leave my kids alone. Dude, teach them some math.
Just teach them math and reading.
Let them read The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Let them read The Hobbit. That might be a little advanced, Lord of the Rings. Let them read Narnia.
Yeah.
Let's do some stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I will teach my kids about Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't want the state's help to do that.
Yeah.
The state is a beast, brother.
So, and that goes back. So we're Baptist.
By the way, that's Baptist. Bro.
I know we are Baptist, and so in our confessions, in Baptist confessions, there is usually a clause about the relationship between church and state, and it is separation of church and state for a reason. It's part of our Baptist roots. It goes all the way back to England.
People trying to kill us?
England.
Yeah.
And so you think of the Reformation, what kind of came out of the Protestant Reformation. And in England, the Church of England was, when they pulled away from the Catholic Church, the Church of England was left, and Thomas Cranmer and all those kind of folks. Church of England, they're Anglicans, Episcopals, you might know them now as, there's lots of different denominations that are associated with them. And the biggest problem with the Church of England is that they have a head who lives here on earth, and his name is the King of England.
Yeah.
Right? He's in charge of the Church of England. Is the king. It's the monarch. And that was a big problem for Baptists because we have one Lord.
Yeah.
It's
Jesus. It's also they use the power of the state to coerce belief.
Yep, that's true too.
I don't want that.
It's part of it.
I don't want the state I don't want them involved because they will use it to manipulate.
And they do.
They do.
And so English separatists is Baptist roots. They left England, hopped across the short pond, got involved with some Anabaptists, and which are modern day Mennonites and stuff. And then got kicked out of there and came all the way to the new land, right? The new country, America. Rhode Island became Baptist, just Baptist, and that's our roots.
Yeah,
Congregationalists.
Baptist and we the guy. God, what's his name? Give me liberty or give me death.
Yeah, who's that? What's his name?
Nathan Hale. What was it?
I have the internet.
Yeah, look it up.
Give me liberty.
It's a great speech. As for me, give me liberty. Or I know not what course other men may take.
Patrick Henry.
But as for me, give me liberty or give me death. He wanted to have a state church.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He wanted to be part of the tax. No.
Okay.
He was still Anglican.
Yeah.
Well, of course, they called them Episcopalians because you can't. Yeah. You don't want to be called an Anglican in the new. You can't have the king being the head of your church just rebelled against it. So it's what do we do? We'll call ourselves Episcopalians.
Yeah.
So the Baptists were like, we ain't signing this.
Yeah.
If you're going to make a state church, we ran away to get over here to get away from you guys. Yeah. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
And so everybody gets so pumped up about, oh, let's put the 10 Commandments up in this classroom. No, man, put it up in your house, dude. Well, you got it in your house? What?
I don't think I do
No.
have it in my house.
If it's so important, why is it not in your house?
I had it growing up in my house.
It's because you want to control other people's kids or something. I don't know what you're doing, man.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody teaching my kids about God except my church,
so
my
that's
house.
a take. That's a good take. It's a really good take. Let's steel man the other side. Like, what would be good about it? About
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing.
I think there's some good.
What?
I think that you have our kids who will hear about the Bible, right, at home and at church and stuff. But God's word is God's word, no matter who it's coming from, and God can draw a straight line with a crooked stick. I think that the word of God can bear influence on people, even if it's like
It can, but the Ten Commandments, man, are already written in people's heart. You don't have to have it up there.
Yeah. Let's get into them. Let's look at the
Let's
Ten Commandments.
do it.
Yeah. So Exodus chapter 20 is like I said, famous cultural passage, but also very important for the Bible. It starts off, this is the first commandment, and it says, God spoke all these words, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the place of slavery. Do not have other gods besides me. All right, that's the first commandment, right?
Yeah.
So no other gods, and do not make an idol for yourself, whether in the shape of anything in the heavens above or on earth below or in the waters under the earth. Now that is, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, that's the difference in the different kind, like how people like parse out which 10. I
actually think those should be two separate commandments.
Well, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we would say those are two separates, but some people say that's one commandment.
I think it's separate.
Yeah.
And I can tell you why.
So, tell me the difference. What's have no other God and then don't make an
have
idol.
no other gods before me is or beside me.
Yeah. It's besides.
You can't be syncretistic. There's only one God.
Yeah.
So don't worship Baal. Don't worship the Ashtoreth. Don't worship Allah.
Weird spiritualism.
Don't do spiritualism.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's the God of Israel or go broke. And by the way, Allah is not the God of Israel. He's not the God of Abraham. And so we could have a whole podcast on that. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is don't have any idols or images.
Yeah.
Right. So the reason that's different is because later the big sin Israel does, they make the golden calf, right?
Yeah.
They're not making another god.
That's right.
They're making an idol to Yahweh.
Yep.
So they're saying this calf is Yahweh.
Yep.
And so there's a difference in the prohibition of worshiping other gods and don't make any images. Because an image is not just of other gods. He's also saying, don't make an image of me.
Yeah.
Which is super interesting.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. Don't make an image of me.
And over in the Old Testament, as it goes on, generally the idolatry is this weird mashup of like the worship of the attempted but problematic worship of God, which ends up leading to worship of other gods.
Yeah.
It's like I was reading through Judges the other day, and this happens with Gideon, and he makes this ephod.
Yeah.
You remember this?
Yeah,
Out of the earrings or something.
yeah.
And it ends up leading to the worship of other gods.
Yes.
And the way it reads is initially is this was about the worship of Yahweh, and then ends up leading to this other thing. And it also gets made fun of a ton.
Yes. Well, here's the thing, man, with idolatry. If you try to make an image of God, and this can happen without making something, but you start worshiping an aspect because nothing on earth can contain the fullness of God.
Yeah.
So if you make a bull or something and say, this is Yahweh, you start associating Yahweh with the characteristics of a bull. He might be strong. He might be ruthless. He might be territorial. And so you start emphasizing these things. And the other stuff kind of starts getting left by the wayside. And then you got another guy, culture over here that has a god, and he's represented by a bull.
Yeah.
And you might think, oh, well, Yahweh and this guy's the same guy.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And that is a thing,
Yes.
especially in this context. You have Baal.
Yeah.
Baal is this weird bull man thing.
Yeah,
he's got horns and
husband of the earth and fertility. Fertility gods are super popular.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah, they're all like a couple weeks ago we were looking at the Egyptian Exodus and everything.
Yeah.
And how the plagues were attacking these little g fake gods of Egypt. And man, they had like 20 fertility gods.
Yeah.
They're all
there's
fertility
but it's not just about human sex though. That's part of it. Fertility was also tied to agricultural
I'm sure.
issues, like keep the land fertile kind of stuff. So it's not just we have a bunch of babies, which is interesting. It's not, they don't call them sex
Hey,
gods.
we're going to take a break real quick. And we're back. Sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, but that was so fast, wasn't it?
So fast.
So fast for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these fertility gods are everywhere. So it's related to like husbandry, like for animals, right?
Yeah. And they don't call them sex gods.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't. And so it's it's interesting because they're tied to the fertility of the land, but also they did want to have a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
Because
that's the future.
Yeah, future.
That's
and
your
help and
everything is tied to that.
His family. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but God is not a fertility God, but He is a fertility God.
He is, that's one of the many plethora of things He does.
Yes, He brings increase to the land. He opens up the womb.
Yep.
He causes the deer to calve. He causes people in Genesis. He opens the womb and closes
right.
it.
Yeah, that's
so,
the theme.
but when you only emphasize certain aspects, you denigrate God. You make Him less by making other things more, which is weird.
Yeah.
And so don't do that. Don't make an idol. And also the word image, man.
Oh, the image thing is important.
So important because in the beginning, God makes them male and female. In the image of God, He made them.
Yeah.
People are the image bearers of God.
Yeah, it's supposed to be humanity.
Yes,
bear His
that's
image.
What
what does image mean, though? Let's go back to that.
Likeness.
Let's dig it back up to from Genesis 1.
Yeah. Somehow, so this is not like we're going to solve this, right? People are made in the image and likeness of God.
Yeah.
And at the very least, there's a lot of things we can say about it, but we are complex, complicated creatures that have just fascinating creative powers and complex emotions, and we understand morality. These are things that only we image.
Yeah.
We get aspects of God. Now, it's broken.
Yeah.
It's shattered because of sin. But when you see a perfect person, you will see God.
That's right. Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
We did the incarnation, right? And so we're on the way.
Yeah. That's right.
That's why in John, in Revelation, he meets a Christian. You know this?
Yeah.
When he's in heaven.
Yeah.
It's someone who God has redeemed, right? What does he do?
He falls down
And worships.
Yeah.
And the guy says,
Stop,
get up. I'm one of your brothers, right?
Yeah.
And it's not because he is God.
Yeah.
But when he looks at him, he sees God reflected back at him.
Yeah.
And he's not God, but he looks like him.
Yep.
And so that's the intent, right?
Yeah.
So don't start thinking God's like a bull, he's a stork or a jackal-headed monster being or whatever. You should be looking like God.
Yeah.
That's what we should be like. We're not God, but we should be. We're made in His image and likeness.
Yeah. And it's like representation too.
Yeah.
It's like that's the idea with imaging period is like this the idol, the image, and it's actually same word. The idol is image. In Hebrew. The idol is like representing this deity, and in the same way, like the humanity is representing God on earth, right?
Yeah.
And
There's a lot.
That's why it's such a big deal that humanity is sinned.
Yes.
Like you're making God. It's I don't know. I'll say this carefully. God has spoken and done something in creating humanity, and you're not being what He did.
Yeah.
So you're gonna make God a liar?
You make God look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly
you make God look bad when
that's the idea, but behind that Isaiah passage.
You steal His glory.
Yep. Oh, and so related to glory, go think of like Romans 1 with the image of God. Romans 1.
Yeah.
21. For though they knew God, they did not glorify Him as God or show gratitude. Instead, their thinking became worthless, and their senseless hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images resembling mortal man, birds, four-footed animals, and reptiles. It's
Yes.
idolatry.
It's idolatry.
And
They are reducing God.
yes, to these things.
Yeah.
And so God delivered them over to the desires of their hearts.
And they thought they were being smart.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're being stupid.
They're being stupid.
Stupid. Foolish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They exchanged the truth of God for a lie and worshiped and served what has been created instead of the Creator, who is praised forever.
Blessed forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a big theme in the Bible, the idolatry, but also
You want to hear something even weirder than that?
Yeah.
The more you go down the path of idolatry and denigrate God, the more you will denigrate your fellow man too.
Oh.
Think about what pagan cultures start doing to one
Oh
another.
man, dude, pagan cultures were so bad.
So the further you slide down into idolatry, not only do you denigrate God, you start to denigrate your fellow man, the image bearers.
Yeah.
There's a direct correlation to your love for God and your love for neighbor.
Yeah.
There is. And so,
Someone told us something about that in the Bible.
oh yeah, who did that?
Yeah, someone told us something about that in the Bible. It was Jesus.
Yeah, and so I know
Yeah.
people who aren't Christians listening. They're like, "Right, you're saying if you're not a Christian, you won't love your fellow man as much as Christians do." Yeah, I'm saying.
No, I am 100% saying
100% saying that.
Like, you think of like, now someone might just go straight for like the atrocities done in the name of Christ.
Yeah,
Like crusades, some dude bombing something or whatever.
Yeah.
They might even point to Hitler and like Hitler was a Christian. He did all that. That's bogus stuff.
I know.
Like that was not done in the name of Christ. That was done in the name of personal whatever things that they wanted
who
to do.
invented hospitals? Who invented orphanages?
Yeah, there's a reason.
Yeah.
St. Vincent's is called St. Vincent's.
Yes.
And St. Jude is called St. Jude.
Yes.
And it's because
And there's a reason that the
church.
only religion in the history of the world to outlaw slavery are Christian countries.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that it was spearheaded by Christians.
Yes.
So there is and people that are outside of the faith have recognized this, that the extreme value of Christian virtue in the West and how it's changed. Like you think of like someone like Jordan Peterson, who's not really a Christian, who he's kind of gotten close.
He's like Christian adjacent.
Yeah, and but when he started his
Go ahead.
speaking, when he started, he was not at all. But he recognized early on that the Christian moral virtue, vision for morality was so incredible that that's what started him on the path of his like exploration of it.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Well, it's really interesting hearing the guys that I grew up with who hated Christianity, like Dawkins and guys like that, Kitchens, whatever.
Yeah, Hitchens.
And they are now saying, man, we kind of want the Christian morality back. We don't necessarily want Christianity back.
Yeah.
But we think maybe we should be teaching it because it's a disaster when we leave it.
Yeah, because these things are wonderful.
Because right now they're being invaded by Sharia law.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
they're
you
like,
want-
whoopsie.
Let's compare Christian
we would
morality.
really like to have the Christianity back, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what happens as you slide away from God, as you slide away from the Christian teachings of those biblical teaching about who God is, you're going to start treating people worse.
Yeah, you take
Why are
just-
Christians anti-abortion?
Oh yeah, it's the image of God. It's life.
Image of God.
Yep.
That's what it is. Why do we think that we should treat people fairly with equity regardless of skin color or race?
Image of God.
Image of God. Why do we think everybody should get to vote?
Image of God.
Image of God.
Yeah.
That's where all this stuff comes from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's such a good
And in
point.
India, what do you got? You've got levels of peoples.
Yeah.
Priestly class, warrior class,
Yeah.
untouchables, untouchables.
Yeah.
Shouldn't even associate with these people. They're doing penance for a bad former life, and if you're kind to them, they may have to repeat the scenario. So just treat them like garbage.
Yeah.
What?
Man.
I don't care. Send me 555 stop.
Yeah.
Send me stuff, man.
Yeah.
Atheism. When atheists
yeah.
start talking about atrocities committed in the name of Jesus, just go get out of here.
Hey,
Pol Pot.
have you heard? Yeah, that's right.
Get
Have you heard
out
of
of-
a guy named Stalin
Get
before?
out of here, Stalin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on. One of the most eminently provable doctrines of Christianity is the absolute depravity or the total depravity of mankind.
Yeah.
And we sin.
Yeah.
Christians sin. but we could have a little talk about whether or not the Crusades were as bad as people said they were.
Yeah. It's just one that's used, you know. It's
They use it because it's easy to kick the Christians because we take it and we're gracious. Draw a picture of Jesus and make him do terrible stuff, and we'll just be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Draw a picture of Muhammad, and somebody's coming for you.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
I know.
That's so true.
Because we take it. So the Crusades were terrible. You went over there and fought the Muslims. Like, what'd we do that for?
Yeah.
Because they were capturing Christians and putting them into slavery when they tried to visit the Holy Land.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened.
Yeah, man. So, anyways, let's move on with the Ten Commandments. That's all really good points. So you have no other gods before me, no syncretism,
and
no
don't
idolatry.
make an idol.
Don't make idols. And then do not bow in worship to them and do not serve them. So that's other folks who I guess the Catholics. I'm not sure if it's Catholics or if it's some sect of Judaism. That's a different command for them.
Yeah.
Do not bow and worship them and do not serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, bringing the consequences of the father's iniquity on the children to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing faithful love to 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commands. That's an interesting thing to say.
What does it mean for God to be jealous?
Yeah.
What? Because average listener or yourself,
Yeah.
if you heard someone say, I'm jealous,
Yeah.
did you think that's a positive
Yeah.
emotion? Or
Yeah.
would you think negative emotion?
Yeah, I would say for us it's a negative. Yeah.
Maybe.
Generally. Because we have in English a unfortunate synonym or thing that's kind of developed between envy and jealousy, that those are synonyms basically to us, but they're not.
No.
Jealousy, there is righteous jealousy. And you think of like
There is.
Yeah, it's like if Amy, your wife, were to...
I'm already getting jealous.
Oh, don't do it. Amy's great. She would never do this. But if she were to start kind of running around on you...
Or even if she were not like participating.
Yeah.
Like let's say we were somewhere at a carnival or something and I saw some dude getting handsy and she was trying to get away from him. I'm going to beat that guy.
And there would be a jealousy there.
Oh, that's jealous, man.
So,
here's an easier one. I have a friend that's got this Eastman guitar. It's a Sunburst top. It's so beautiful.
It's me.
Oh, is it you?
It's me.
Is that you? What would you do if you came
guitar.
in today and I had that guitar in my hands and I was in there playing my plinkety plackety plinkety on it?
I would be upset.
You would be,
I wouldn't say anything because you're my friend, but I'd be like...
But inside your guts would twist up a little bit.
Every time anyone picks up my guitar, if you're listening to this, pay attention. Because it might be you. You've done this.
Yes.
And you just pick it up and you play it like it's yours. Like I want to punch you.
Yeah.
Do not do that.
People, and look, it's not just Justin. This is a public service announcement. Some people don't care, but people are
people who are true musicians, they absolutely care. There's a special relationship there.
Me and Justin here are Stephen Wilson Jr. fans.
Yeah.
Unashamed.
Yeah.
And you watch the guitar he plays. Man, it looks like somebody dropped it off a
It's
truck.
his best friend.
I guarantee you, if you picked up Stephen Wilson Jr.'s guitar, that dude might punch you.
And you die because he's a boxer.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
But
now,
that's
my
that
banjo,
kind of righteous jealousy.
But if somebody came up and said, Brad, can I try your banjo? I would be like, yeah, man. But if I came in there and somebody's just hammering it, I'd be like, hey, wait a minute. There's some...
It's not all instruments too. Like I have a backup guitar. Like, man, I'd give that to an 8-year-old to learn on or something. I have a ukulele that's like, it can take a beating.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
If you're a professional musician, you got 19 Martins, it may not mean as much. But if you've got one they always take to the studio, if you touch that thing, man. So that's
like
what
my Eastman is my baby.
What I want to say about all that is that there's a kind of jealousy that's earned.
Yep.
So I'm in covenant with my wife.
Yeah.
We swore to God.
Yeah.
Which, are we supposed to swear to God?
In this you are. Yeah.
When you make a covenant. The prohibition is don't swear. It's when you swear you got to keep it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
So she's forsaken all other dudes for me only.
Just you.
Yes, just me.
That's
and
a
I've
big
forsaken
deal.
all other women for her only.
Yeah.
And so if somebody starts messing with that covenant, they're getting beat up.
Yeah. 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 There's a righteous jealousy.
Yeah, hey, that's mine.
Yeah.
And she can say that about me. Hey, that's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave that alone.
So people have told us on the podcast to stop doing so much Hebrew and Greek and stuff, but I'm sorry. This is important. This is a helpful one.
Oh, okay.
So with jealousy, there's and when it's translated into English, the word in the ancient language, it can actually go two different directions. It can go jealousy, or interestingly, it can go zealousy.
Yeah.
We don't say zealousy,
but
zealous and jealous, weirdly, they sound so similar in English, but weirdly, the ancient languages, it's passionate.
Yeah.
Is the idea behind that word. This is God talking about his passion for his covenant and his people.
Right, and it's like marriage.
Yep.
It's a covenant he made. And he talks about the church being his bride.
Yep.
He talks about Israel being his bride.
Yep.
And he's zealous for them.
Yep.
And it's not selfish.
Yeah.
When God is zealous for his namesake and zealous for his people, he's trying to save you.
Yep.
It's like when Frodo,
Oh, yeah, that's
not
such a
Frodo,
great-
Bilbo,
such a
with
great
Gandalf.
line. Yeah,
and he
yeah.
says, don't take me for a idle conjurer of cheap tricks.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to rob you, Bilbo. I'm trying to save you.
Yeah,
Right?
Great
trying to
line.
help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Me and Steph quote that all the time with
Yeah.
our children.
Yeah.
Because we're always trying to help them.
I'm
and
not
they
trying
hate
to
it.
rob you. I'm trying to help you.
Like trying to take something that's going to hurt them out of their hands. And they're
Yeah,
like,
that's what it means for God to be jealous. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh my goodness, he's worshiping this Baal idol. They're gonna start thinking about fertility only. They're
Yeah.
gonna start denigrating their fellow man. They're gonna start killing their babies to
Yeah.
make it rain.
It's not because God has a need for your worship, a felt need for your worship, that he's like sulking in the corner because you haven't done it.
No, it's because you're killing yourself.
Yeah,
and
it's
he
good.
hates
that's,
that.
That's right. And that's a very important distinction, because maybe a casual reading, you might think that. You might think like God is like a sulky child.
He's not. He's worthy.
Yes.
And here's the thing.
That's a big difference
He
too, isn't
He
it?
is
Yeah.
worthy of, and he deserves it. So it's
Yeah.
sort of like if you're a basketball fan, right,
Uh-huh.
and you start saying Michael Jordan is the worst point guard to ever play the game.
What?
People be like, "What?
What's wrong with you?
What is wrong with
Yeah,
you?"
Tom Brady's
If-
the worst quarterback ever.
Oh, yeah, Tom Brady's overrated. You'll be like, "What?"
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and then you start listing his accolades, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He's got this many completion
Yeah.
yards.
Yeah, yeah.
He's got this many blah blah blah. He's got more receiving yards than any quarterback. He literally
he does.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's
It's
bizarre.
so weird.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a lot. So he's got all these things, 50 bajillion Super Bowl wins, all this stuff, all these accolades, and somebody goes, "I don't care. It's no good." You'd be like, "You're stupid."
Yeah.
And so we would say that Tom Brady has earned, if he's not the GOAT, he is.
Yeah.
If he's not the GOAT of quarterbacks in the NFL, he deserves to be in the conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
He's on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, if you just try to knock him off there,
Yeah.
you're stupid.
Yep.
And so when we say that God is jealous or that he is worthy of praise, when you start listing his accolades and the things he does, it's like to deny that he's worthy of our worship is infinitely more ridiculous
Yeah.
than saying Tom Brady does not deserve to be in the discussion for all-time great quarterbacks.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It means you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like you don't know football.
Yeah.
You can argue whether or not LeBron James or Michael Jordan are the greatest to
Yeah.
ever play the game. It's fine to be wrong. Michael Jordan's the greatest. but to act like either one of those men don't deserve to be in that conversation is stupid.
Yeah. And so that's how it translates to God,
Mm-hmm.
to issue with God. It's like he is everything he says he is in full actuality. Like he is, you shouldn't have any other God beside him because he is truly the only God.
And he is good.
It's not like he's in competition
He's
with
just,
others.
he's kind, he's merciful,
Yeah.
he's all of those things.
And he is everything that he says he is in those.
This is why Christians write songs, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Because words aren't enough. You need poetry.
You need the music.
You need the
to
music. You need
supplement the words.
the emotion.
Yeah. There's a difference between me just saying, then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee, how great
Yeah.
thou art.
Yeah.
And for us to put that to music and to sing it together, there's some weird difference that gives it more meaning.
Yeah, it's sort of like when you got a person singing a solo, it's great. But sometimes when somebody joins them in a harmony,
Yeah.
something happens. What in the world? It's so much nicer.
It's the intentionality of adding beauty to it.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. And so
performing it like it's, I don't know, it's bizarre, but it's real.
it's
know?
real.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, shout out to our worship band yesterday. Y'all did great. It was beautiful
great
music.
job yesterday.
Jordan, hey, shout out to Jordan. Jordan has like this little like yodel in her voice. You hear that?
Yeah.
Sounds so good. It's like she could be in like a Celtic band or something,
Tickles your brain a little bit.
It's so good.
I know.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah.
There are people who are so gifted.
Yeah.
Like I'm so jealous of people who have this.
Are you jealous?
Yes, in a bad way.
I know. Yeah.
In a bad way.
Yeah.
I admire it too, though.
Yeah.
Who have these this tone and these pitches that like can't be duplicated.
Yeah. Chris Stapleton. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Shout out Chris Stapleton. Yeah, it's annoying to me. Not annoying. It's so beautiful. I love to hear it. And what's crazy is you hear it instantly.
Oh,
like
yeah.
somebody pick up a microphone. It's like, what's this gonna be? And they sing. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
what?
Timbre is what it's called.
It's so. Some people just have this timbre, dude. I would have facial reconstructive surgery if I could have timbre like
Vocal cord reconstruction.
Whatever it would
Yeah.
take. I don't think it's just vocal cords, man.
No, it's in your sinuses and everything.
It's just a
A
natural.
lot of it's vocal cord, though.
Yeah.
A lot of that is. Yeah, anatomy. So
I heard a guy singing true bass the other day.
true bass is
True bass.
bizarre.
It's probably the rarest thing.
It is. Yeah.
And he was doing a stitch. This is on a reel, and I'm talking about. He might have been off the piano nearly.
Yeah.
This dude was, and it was perfect. And I was like, I almost fell in
it
love
was
with
probably
him.
fake then.
Dang it!
It was probably
Don't tell
fake.
me that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. And there was one where there were three guys that were sitting in a stairwell, and they were singing the Hobbit, the Misty Mountain song.
Yeah.
And they were all basses. God, so good.
Yeah.
So good, man.
A lot of the stuff.
Don't tell me it's fake.
A lot of it on social media is fake. I've like.
I want to make me some fake videos.
Yeah,
then.
it's just one of those things. Like, it's not that it's completely fake. They're doing something.
Yeah,
but,
I found out the other day everybody's auto-tuned.
Yeah, auto-tune is very easy to apply, and it's very subtle, and it makes like every recording artist you listen to now has auto-tune involved.
I've been listening lately to 80s and 90s people when they drop the music out.
Yeah, they didn't have auto-tune.
And they're the best in the world. Every once in a while, slightly pitchy.
Yep.
And it encouraged me greatly.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, who was really good?
Who?
Phil Collins.
Oh, yeah.
Super good.
Oh, yeah. Phil Collins is incredible, dude.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, I never appreciated.
I discovered Phil Collins from Tarzan.
Shut up. Yeah. I grew up with Phil.
When I was a kid,
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're younger than me.
Yeah, I was
That's
a kid,
right.
and I thought the music from Tarzan was incredible.
Yeah.
And so I had a Phil Collins album. Like it was one of my first. It wasn't the first.
Was it Genesis when he was in the band?
I can't remember. I just remember listening to him all the time. CD.
Yeah.
Cassette first.
He's not like he. I don't know, man. He's
we
so
are
strange.
everywhere today, dude.
It's okay.
We are everywhere. Let's go on. Let's do a couple more commitments. We probably won't get through all of them today, though.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no. We can do one. Who cares, man? We got 10 of them.
We can do the first. It's kind of split in half. We'll do the first ones devoted to God. We'll finish out those. So the next one, I guess this is the third commandment, verse 7. Do not misuse the name of the Lord your God, because the Lord will not leave anyone unpunished who misuses his name.
Or famously, don't take the name of the Lord your God in vain.
In vain or blaspheme, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is...
People think that means... People think it means one thing, and it doesn't mean that.
I actually love the Christian Standard translation for this.
Oh, yeah.
So that's do not misuse the name of the Lord your God. I have like this little handy tool that allows me to look at all the translations at the kind of the same time.
Yeah.
Here's some examples. The ESV says, "You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain." The NET, "You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain."
They can't get away from that in vain.
I know it. Because it comes from the King James.
Yes.
"Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain."
Yeah.
And so the ESV
But nobody
is
knows what in vain means
I know
anymore.
It. Yeah, vanity is like means something different now.
Yeah.
I feel like vanity is like about caring too much about your appearance.
Yeah, or people think if you say GD, you've taken the name of God in vain, and you kind of have.
Yeah.
But to take the name of the Lord in vain or to misuse the name of God, this is about oaths.
Yep.
This is about saying, I swear to God I will do that.
Yep.
And when it says in vain, it means if you say that, you have to do it.
Yeah.
And so if you say GD this thing, if you really don't want God to send this thing into the flaming fires of hell, don't say that.
It comes down to what the name of God is, and this is something to think about. Okay, if you're a Bible reader, you should care about what the name of God means because it's everywhere. It's like percolated out of the scriptures, of course, into our songs too. We talk about the name of God, and what we do not mean by the name of God is Yahweh, for example, or Jesus, like the syllables that make up what we're saying by the name of God, Jesus, God, right? Mm-hmm. That's not that's related, but it's not what the name of God is. The name of God is about his reputation. It's about like his character. And so you get places in the scriptures. Well, here's a good example right here. Let's go Matthew 6. Okay, this is the Lord's Prayer, right? Mm-hmm. Therefore, you should pray like this: Our Father in heaven, your name be honored as holy. Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed.
What doesn't make any sense if I'm just talking about the syllables that make up Yahweh or God or Adonai. Mm-hmm. No, we're talking about something different, like
the reputation of God.
Who he is in of himself.
God's people should be known as when I tell you I'm doing something. I will do it.
Yeah,
and that should make people a little afraid, but it should also make them be able to trust you.
Yeah,
if I say you do this thing, I will do this thing. Then it should be. That's how it's going to be.
Yeah, that's right.
And so taking the name of God in vain is binding yourselves to oaths flippantly.
Yeah.
To make God's name a byword, like it's not important.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that.
And maybe the most important oath that is covenanting with God.
Yeah.
Like could you imagine being in their situation? They've come to this mountain. They're meeting with God. They're hearing, from God through Moses and everything. God tells them, if you follow me, you'll be my people, all this kind of stuff. They say, yes, I'm all in, right?
Yeah.
Sign me up. And they take up the name of God to represent him, right? As this people, a holy nation, kingdom
to image him.
To image him. But they've done it without any sincerity.
Yeah.
That's the taking God's name in vain.
Yeah.
And they're not going to follow through.
Ecclesiastes talks about this.
Yeah.
Actually, it says it would be better not to make an oath than to make an oath and not keep it. Mm-hmm. And so when you say, I will do this, man, you should be thinking about that stuff.
Yeah. Jesus says it, let your yes be yes and your no be no, right?
Yeah. Anything beyond this is sin.
Yep. And so...
Because they had a little wiggle, if you swear by this, it doesn't really count.
Yeah.
But if you swear by this, it does count. And Jesus is like, stop that nonsense, man.
Yeah.
Just
now let's talk about cussing. Something like GD, saying GD. Like, what? Now, is that sinful? And if it is, why?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So if you are using it flippantly and don't mean it, it is sin.
Yeah.
All right? But if you see something horrible and you say, God damn this thing.
It's a prayer.
It's a prayer. Like if somebody is murdering or doing something horrible.
And by the way, sorry for that. If you just had to crawl under your table.
Sorry. But we preach like this, don't we?
Yeah.
We talk about God. We talk about damnation. This is the proper context for this stuff.
Yeah.
Those things are real.
There is a proper context.
I would never say that.
Yeah.
I would never say that.
Yeah.
I say never. Sometimes I sin. I don't know. But as far as I can remember, I have not said that about something that didn't
about
need
traffic
it.
Or something.
About traffic, or I can't get the bolt loose from my mule. I'm trying to change it. I don't say, send this thing straight to hell. No, I don't do that. So, yes, it can be sin, but... I tell my kids this, man. Should we talk about theology of cussing or what?
Yeah. Well, let's finish up with just like this. Like, saying something like there's a context for it where it's appropriate and it actually makes sense. Like in the midst of, the tragedy of Job, for example.
Yeah.
For him to say, "God damn Satan."
Yeah.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
that's and it's coming for him, right?
Yeah. We hate that guy.
Yeah. So like, there's a context for it, but like the traffic or casual, like stump my toe or something
dude,
like those lines.
if I ever heard you say that about something, I'd be like, this is bad. We need to get rid of it. Like whatever he just talking about.
Yeah.
Like we're serious now. This has got to go.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. So
but let's talk about cussing a little bit because it's related and
it is.
it's
People
worth talking
think
about.
that's it. What it means. You shouldn't say Jesus Christ in traffic. You shouldn't be lessening his name.
Yeah.
It has power. Words have power.
Yeah.
And when you use them wrongly, people don't take you seriously.
Yeah.
And communication is essential to the gospel, to everything.
Yeah.
The deer are not sitting around having a conversation right now in the woods, right?
Yeah.
Monkeys don't. It's a gift from God that we can communicate with each other. And if you waste your words with frivolous talk, nobody takes you seriously.
That's right.
And I tell my kids this, like, even swear words, like cussing. So there's two different kinds. There's vulgarities, and there's profanities. You shouldn't use profanity. Means to profane, and that has to do with things about God, like saying God, or like in vain, or Jesus Christ, or whatever. However people are doing it, that's a profanity. Don't do that ever. Vulgarities sometimes, but you better mean it.
You better mean it.
I tell my kids using vulgarities is like farting in a crowded elevator. People can't get away from it. And you're making everybody have a bad time. You look like an idiot, right? For the most part. But it may not necessarily be sin. If you heard me in the parking lot and there was a tirade of profanities coming out there. Vulgarities. Sorry, vulgarities. Have you ever heard me do that?
No.
Ever. Never.
No, if it was happening, I'd be running out there with a baseball bat or something.
Somebody's trying to kill us. Yeah. Like, I'm being serious right now, and I'm communicating my displeasure. It would be insane. I would be trying to stop someone from doing harm and letting them know that I'm fixing to get ready to do harm. That's what it's for. But if you cuss every single day, and you're always using these vulgarities.
Every sentence, all this kind of stuff.
It's like when you're texting somebody and they're using too many exclamation points.
What's that passage is in James about vulgar language and stuff. It's like it is a command level kind of thing. You should not, like, your language should not be such that people will not take you seriously about the gospel because of how you talk.
Yeah, also vulgarities. I'm talking about in confrontation. If you're using it to make like sex jokes and be weird, like perverse, that's wrong. Always stop that mess immediately. So don't take God's name in vain. Don't belittle the name of the Lord. Don't be a pervert, right? But if you got to reach into your toolbox and get an exclamation point, because somebody's doing something and you got to stop them right now. I'm reaching for whatever tool's handy. I'm telling you, man.
That's funny.
I've yelled at my sheep like that in the pasture.
The pastor did that in the pasture?
Yeah, it's just me and Jesus. But I talk to him about it all the time. I tell him I'm sorry. We have a good relationship. We do. I told people on Sunday at our Sunday school class, and this has to do with taking the name of the Lord in vain and stuff, really, I think. We got on prayer without ceasing. They were like, what does it look like? And I said, well, I just talk to the Lord like he's there.
Because he is.
I talk to him all the time. Like just like it doesn't have to be complicated. I'm like, Lord, what is this guy doing? He pulled out right in front of me. I just talk to Jesus about it. Or like I'll say, Lord, help Justin. He's going to be jet lagged. He's 9 hours off. He's got all this stuff. Lord, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this to my friend? What is happening right now? I talk to him all the time. I got other friends. I pray that way. It's not like super deep. But I just talk to Jesus like he's my friend, right? He's sitting there. And if I overstep and say dumb stuff, he understands that I'm stupid. And I'm just like bouncing it off of him. Lord, why don't we do this? Could we win the lottery? And he's like, no. He's like, no, you're too weak. You can't stand to have that much money.
That's funny. Let's do one more.
Okay.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Oh, no.
Aha. Yeah. You are to labor 6 days and do all your work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God.
We should have probably done this one as a whole one.
We actually need to stop. We need to do this one next week.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about.
So much in this one.
So, all right. Wait.
Teaser. Are you a 9-commandment Christian on this? Do you think the Sabbath is abolished?
I'm not a 9-commandment Christian.
We need to talk about what it means to have a Sabbath.
It needs some nuance. We're going to have to talk about this. So
I am a semi-Sabbatarian.
Buckle up, Buttercup, and you're going to have to wait for next week on the Sabbath.
Yeah, because it's a big deal, man.
And this is the Big Deal Podcast. So
it is.
Let's sum up the first 4 commandments. Mm-hmm. What's the big deal about these first 4 commandments, Brad?
Okay, so don't have any other gods beside God because they're worthless.
Yeah.
That's what it says throughout the Scripture. They're no good. They will lead you astray, and you will do great harm. Don't make idols. Mm-hmm. Because you will denigrate God and you will begin to denigrate your fellow man. Mm-hmm. And it's terrible. Idolatry is a trap. It's very horrible.
Calvin says that we are all, our hearts are all idol makers, right?
Idol factories.
Idol factories.
Yeah, we do. We manufacture them. I've done this.
No.
I think everybody does.
Yeah.
God is complex, and so we tend to gravitate towards things we like, or maybe that we see hasn't happened in our lives, like people who are really hardcore on justice and have no mercy. Maybe it's because they haven't seen a lot of justice, and it's very difficult for them to have mercy. And then other people, all they talk about is mercy, and we can't have justice. Yeah. And that's a problem too. Yeah. So we gravitate, and so how is that? And I always tell people the mind of God is complex, and so is yours. Like, when your kids graduate, are you happy or sad?
Who knows?
You are both, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're super happy. You're also super sad.
Yeah.
And you can hold those two things at the same time.
Yep.
And God is way more complex than this. He can hold justice and mercy in his heart at the same time.
Yeah.
So don't denigrate that. You will find yourself throughout your life drifting one way or another. And sometimes we have to be corrected. And if you manufacture idols for yourself, it gets infinitely worse.
Yeah.
Because you start saying, this is the Lord your God. Ooh,
yeah.
It's bad. This is bad. And so that's the big deal on that.
Cool. Yeah, that's great, man.
And don't take the name of the Lord in vain. Don't use his name flippantly. He is God.
Yeah.
Every time, really, every time you open your mouth, God is witness. Every time you open your mouth, God is witness.
Everything you've ever said.
And every idle word you speak will be brought into judgment.
Yeah.
And that's why teachers are held to a stricter judgment. Because we teach and we say with authority.
We say things.
Even like when I'm at Foodland or in traffic and my kids are in the car, I'm teaching them about God when I open my mouth, what I think about God. Because what I think about my fellow man is a direct reflection about what I think about God.
Yeah.
And so if you're the type of person who's running people down, you're always negative, you're not trying to help people, you don't show mercy. Like when I get cut off in traffic and I say, that guy may have somewhere he's got to be.
Yeah, yeah.
He may. What if he's on the way to a funeral for one of his children, and he's not thinking about traffic?
We should always imagine that something like that whenever
you want something's going on in their life.
Yeah.
Hey man, what if their girlfriend just dumped him?
Yeah.
And this dude is distraught.
Yeah.
He's not thinking about letting me merge.
Yeah.
He's got his own problems.
Yeah.
Just wave at that guy. It's okay, man.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just make a mistake. You look in your mirror, you don't see somebody.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
Early this morning, I was driving, and I was at a light, and it was red, and then it turned green, and I found out that it turned green probably 15 seconds later, because I was just dazed. I was just zoned out, and I wouldn't look at my phone or nothing. Yeah. And the guy behind me didn't do nothing. He was so nice. He didn't honk. He wasn't honking at me or nothing.
There's a language of honking.
Yeah.
Do you agree with this?
Oh yeah.
So if a guy's
a little. That's just getting your attention.
Buddy, just heads up.
But it's like I'm mad at you. I want to
yes. But if somebody's sitting there, I don't even and
or like a little it's even more playful.
Yeah, it's just like hey bud, you look back. Hey, it's green. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. So don't cuss that guy. Don't use the name of the Lord in vain. You're going to do that stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to cut people off in traffic.
Yeah.
You're going to not notice the light turn green because you're trying to get your GPS to work.
Yeah.
Because there's a million things. Hey, man, just have mercy on these guys. Because you communicate who God is to your kids.
Yeah.
You communicate who God is to you. Because the longer you dwell in that behavior, the more it becomes you.
Yeah.
And you're teaching constantly.
Yeah.
So don't take the name of the Lord in vain. Every word you say is held in judgment. And if you get upset, talk to Jesus about it. Like, God, why ain't you paying attention at the red light? And then you'll get convicted about, well, why weren't you paying attention 2 days ago at the red light? You're right. And what if something's going on in this guy's life or this woman's life? There's things happening.
Mm.
What if you see somebody, she's not paying attention, she's putting on her makeup.
Yeah.
You're like, God, what do that at home? Maybe she's running late for an interview. She's a single mom. She needs this job. Just do your thing, man.
I had a seminary professor who's super wise, one of the wisest men I've ever known. His name was Dr. Hanna, John Hanna, and a different. The Flintstone guy. And he always said, before you offer anyone a critique, you should first understand them and then have compassion on them.
Yes.
And then you can critique.
Dude, if you do that, if you check your log before you go for splinters, right?
Yeah.
When you confront someone in love like that, and you're they know you're not the type of person that runs people down. They know you're not the type of person that is just a backbiter and a mouthy person or whatever. And you say, hey, man, we've got to talk. You're going to crush that person.
Yeah.
And they'll change.
Yeah, it'll be a good thing.
It'll be a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, crush in a bad way.
I
mean a good way.
In a good way.
Right? Like if you sat me down and said, Brad, this behavior it's upsetting.
Yeah.
This is what's happened. I'd be like, oh.
I'd listen.
I would. I'd be so sad
Yeah.
at myself.
Right? But in your change, though.
I would try.
The understanding compassion is just vital for those kinds of things.
But that's what it means to take the Lord's name in vain. I am coated with God. I'm in Christ, right?
Coated with God.
I am an ambassador for Jesus.
That's in the Bible.
Yes, I don't get a day off, man.
Yep.
And I don't want one. I don't want a day off.
No days off. Yeah.
And no matter where I go, if Amy and I are like, let's go do a getaway to Jamaica, I'm not off work, baby.
Yeah.
I'm still an ambassador for Jesus in
That's right.
Jamaica.
That's
It
true.
doesn't matter where I'm
You
at.
became a missionary.
I'm a missionary to Jamaica. I want to be joyful and happy and kind and patient and all those things.
For sure.
And if I misbehave, I don't have to say God's name. I've taken His
How
name
about
in
we
vain.
say sorry?
Sorry,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's like, hey, you're wearing me
Yeah.
everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And people say, why you act the way you do? Well, because I'm a Christian.
I'm wearing God.
I'm wearing God.
Coated with God.
Yes, coated
like
in
that.
Christ, man.
Coated in Christ.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I want it to rub off on people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it does.
I know,
It does.
It does, man.
yeah.
It should.
We
We should supposed to be an aroma.
the like times in my life where I feel like I've grown the most in Christ and like gained more maturity in Christ, seen more like fruit of the Spirit are times when I'm surrounded by godly people.
I know.
Like, and opposite is true, right?
Yes.
It's why I feel so close to God right now. 'Cause I'm with my buddy Brad,
Yeah.
who loves Jesus so much. Yeah,
Man, look, and just for an encouragement, we'll finish this. Godly people have sometimes redirected me on accident, and they have no idea they
Oh,
did it.
that happens all the time.
Like little throwaway stuff when you're down
Yeah.
or something. They just drop the book of Proverbs says like like gold in a fine setting. So is the word of the wise. It's like this jewel, blah, boop, and they don't even know they did it. Like they just say something encouraging
yeah,
out of nowhere. And it's a throwaway thing for them because they're being nice all the time. They're
Yeah.
always giving out these nuggets, and it's just like, man, you encourage me somehow. Blah blah blah. Or that was awesome, dude. And you're like, oh, I thought it was terrible. You know what I mean? It's just weird.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
weird, and it sticks with you.
Yeah,
Sticks. It's like God Himself said that thing to you.
yeah,
When the church encourages you that way, or somebody in the faith, and you know that there's no. It's a neat thing when you know that they're not trying to butter you up, because that happens. You can detect it.
yeah, yeah.
They're just genuinely like appreciating something about you.
Yeah.
and they give you that thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's so nice. And if you talk to them about it like 6 months later, they'll be like, I didn't even know I was at that event.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
It's
what you
like,
mean.
You said something one time. And
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you guys for listening to the Big Deal Podcast. This is part 1 of our 2 weeks on the 10 Commandments.
Yes.
And we're going to get to the next part next week, talk about the Sabbath and murder. And
enjoy Thanksgiving.
yeah, get you some turkey.
Greatest.
Next week, we'll talk about our experience.
I'll say this last thing.
Trying each other's food. Yeah, go ahead.
Thanksgiving is the greatest holiday of the year.
What?
Yeah, it is.
That's a take.
I'll tell you why. It is only about family. It is only about food. There are no expectations of gifts. You're just supposed to get together and be thankful. There is no other thing.
Fine, Brad.
Isn't that
makes
beautiful?
sense. It is beautiful.
Like you don't have to be like, what do you want for Christmas? What's on his gift for? Blah, blah, blah.
Now
Aren't they gonna
it's
like it?
it's kind of like it's pre-Christmas now.
It is.
Like,
It's a shame.
It's like the Christmas kickoff party. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of what it is.
When your family's in harmony.
Yeah.
When your family's in harmony, this is a big deal. And everybody gets over and eat grandma's sweet potato casserole and nobody will ever be able to duplicate again.
Yeah.
And you just sit around and you eat. You feast.
Yeah, feast.
You can feast.
Yeah.
And you just fall asleep watching the Dallas Cowboy turkey leg game. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what other expectations are? You're just hanging out.
It's a great
with family.
day. I love
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bumped it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd say it's the greatest. It's hard to beat Easter. You
Yeah.
got the resurrection of Jesus.
But I'm so busy, man.
Expected that from you, honestly, but whatever.
Hey, look, but Jesus is risen every day in my heart.
yeah,
But here's
Yeah.
the thing: one day when you're old, I pray, and and you're surrounded by family, and there's little grandkids running around, and everybody's driven in to see you, and that doesn't happen much.
Yeah.
You know, when you're old and you're still smoking that turkey, and you realize that they're here for the turkey man, and Dad's dressing is the best, and your kids are just at the house, and you didn't have to worry about presents for your 19 grandkids or whatever, and whoever's there. You didn't have to worry about nothing. You just have the food, crash on the floor. It's real nice, man.
It's good. That's good. Yeah. Holidays are great. Hey, y'all have a good one this week, and don't spend too much money on dumb stuff on Friday. All right. That's
Okay.
all. See y'all.
Bye.
Bye.